Hello again, this is Vildra. I am back, this time with a speed build, and it's going to be a tiny house. As you know, there is a new pack coming out on the 21st, and there are special conditions for houses to be counted as tiny for the new lot traits. And so I tried to conform to those in this build. The house is exactly 100 tiles, 50 on each floor. And I do hope that the patio doesn't count because then I have failed. But I started this build because I felt I haven't made many small houses, many tiny houses, and I needed to practice before all the new goodies come out. And then so I built this and I put it on the gallery, and then after that I read about the contest. So there is a contest for building a tiny house on a 20 by 15, which this lot actually is. This is in Newcrest. The lot is called Comfy Cubby. And well, I decided I wanted to enter that contest, so I started building a new house on the next lot, the one to the left of this. And it's gonna be an awesome house, but I got kind of stuck on the interior. I couldn't pick what stuff to use, and at the same time I downloaded all this fantastic CC from different creators, and I thought, oh gosh, I want to use the CC because this house is so awesome. But then also in the rules for the contest it said that it should be a tiny house for a household with one sim, and the house I'm building next to this one actually can have 3 bedrooms, so I thought maybe it's too big then. It wasn't quite clear how the rules were. And then also I put a tree in the back of this house. The thing is, when I built this, I had an appointment, so I had to go before I was quite finished. I had some knickknacks left in the, well, garden is a big word, but landscaping. I put some more plants and trees, and also a little clutter. I put out some more flowers, and also I play tested, so I adjusted the position of a few furniture. But I put a big floral tree in the back corner, and when I was building the new house, that tree clipped into the wall of that house, because that house basically fills the whole lot. So I went in on this lot today again to scale down that tree so it didn't cut into my new house. And then I realized that, well, this house actually fits the rules for the contest. So I decided to actually enter this house into the contest instead of the one I'm building next door. And since I'm not going to put the one next door into the contest, I can use CC in that, because I've decided I'm going to build small houses now while waiting for the new awesome in-game stuff, and I'm going to use the totally awesome CC I've downloaded the past few days in those houses. I'm not sure if I will be uploading them on the gallery. If you want me to, you can request it. I will link to the creators who made the CC I'm gonna bring into the game. But well, that's how it is. So this is now my entry for the tiny house contest. I've looked at the gallery and there are lots of entries and many are awesome, so I don't have much hope of winning, but at least I entered. And I had a picture of a real life house for inspiration when I built this. So the basic shape of it is similar to that. I had no idea how it looked inside though. I knew that the bathroom should go in that corner, the far corner. There will be a lot of windows on this house, and I don't think that matches the, well, I only saw the original from the front, so I don't know how the windows looked on that on the other sides, but I knew that, and I knew I wanted to use the bed from Island Living, the one I had at the start. I switched bed because I couldn't find any bedside tables small enough other than the ones I've got in right now, and they didn't fit with the bed, so I swapped bed. But I will soon realize that I won't be able, when I place the stairs, I won't be able to have any bedside tables anyway. So I will switch back to the original bed, and that bed kind of set the interior theme for the entire house, because I wanted a light wood color like the stairs I'm making, and I think there are only 3 swatches with the light wood. It's the red one, and it's one that is kind of petrol blue, and I think there's one that's gray or beige or something, and I've used the petrol blue as a theme color in 2 builds already, so I didn't want to do that once more. And the beige one was too colorless, so it had to be red, and red became the color. Red, white, and light colored wood became sort of the theme I used throughout the whole house. I've got my favorite flooring on everywhere. I will change it outdoors later, and that is mostly because the foundations are hopeless. If you do white, it looks gray. If you do light wood color, it looks dark gray. So the only way to go really is dark brown or black, but black didn't fit this build. I fiddled with this, getting that tile of floor out. I did the same today in the next house I'm building. I still don't know how I did it, but I got it to work in both the houses finally. The stairs is a problem. At first I was thinking maybe I can put them on the outside, but it doesn't feel right because it is a house. It's not like, and it's a house you live in. It's not like a holiday temporary dwelling. You're supposed to be able to live there. And since I decided to make the walls fairly high, I don't remember why I did, but I did. The stairs take up a lot of space, so I couldn't really put it where I first intended to put it. Oh, here is the original bed. That is what decided the look of the entire interior. I am so excited for the new stuff pack and the Murphy beds and everything. And I also searched a lot for pictures of houses. I googled tiny houses basically, and I found quite a few A-frames, and I have never built an A-frame. I really want to do that. That is my plan. After finishing the other also very modern house next door, I think I will do a few A-frames because I found very different images, really modern ones and sort of more traditional ones, like a typical vacation cabin, and others that looked really, really old. So you can make them in many different styles, and I really want to learn how to make them. I have a vampire outside the door here. I had to teleport the sim into the house, my playtester, I have on my main gameplay server, I have a character, a sim called Vildra Gaming, who I created for my first rags to riches, and then for parenthood gameplay, where I had have 6 kids to start sort of a dynasty for gameplays. But this one, she looks exactly the same as Vildra Gaming, the playtester here, but she's called Vildra Housing. Silly. But that's how it is. But I don't play her, and she only tests my houses, and I do not want her to be bitten by a vampire, because I don't want to have to deal with anything game related in this save file. I just want to build houses in this one. So I've locked the doors, and I'm hiding the sim inside the house. Usually I never have her in the house while I'm building, but I had to keep her here for now. So she will appear in the video now and then. I apologize for that. And also I apologize for, as usual, I tend to move around. I'm not very, focused doing one room at a time. I really tried this time, but as I find stuff in catalog, and I still don't know all the stuff in the catalog, I tend to sort of grab, when I find something, I go wherever I think it needs to go, and it can be annoying on the video, I guess. Need to find a red sofa, and it needs to fit with the other reds that I've already picked. There are many reds, as it turned out. Very few fit. There were only 2 left, and one was too big, so there it is. There's a lot of shuffling around and switching back and forth, because it's quite a small space, and everything needs to be... I didn't want it to look very cramped. I wanted it to look, well, spacious is a big word, but not cramped. And also I wanted to have the deck outside, because there is no room inside the house to have a proper dining table where you can sit down at a table. So the only dining space indoors is that little half island counter with the stools. And also it's these big sliding doors, they're awesome because they give a lot of light inside, but they also take up a lot of wall space, so it's really hard to fit the furniture. There's not much wall space to put stuff up against. And also the stairs and the bathroom. I mean, it's not that easy to fit stuff in, but I think it turned out quite okay. There is everything you need really in the house, I think. There's even a TV and a computer and a bookcase. That red chair by the bookcase, by the way, I had to move that when I play tested. I put it on the other side between the bookcase and the door to the bathroom, because she couldn't sit in it. But I think I play tested everything in here, trying to decide what to put on the walls and whether to put a backsplash in the kitchen part. And I decided to make it look more spacious, which is a good thing in a small house. I decided to use mirrors as backsplash, and I'm really happy with how that turned out, because it sort of brings the indoors inside, since there's a big sliding door on the other side, so it almost looks like the view from a window. But it also meant it became difficult to put windows on that side of the house, You'll see in a bit how I figured that one out. I haven't put windows yet, as you might have noticed. I've only put in the sliding doors because I wanted to see where things ended up in the interior before I put the windows in. And I had some issues finding good windows for it. Lighting is also an issue. I had really big problems with the lights in the kitchen area because in a little bit I will put in the shelves, the matching shelves from Island Living on the mirrors above the counters, and they looked like they were a completely different color. They looked dark gray on the top side, and the doors looked like dark grayish wood. So when I was in and play tested and took the screenshots, I put some wall lights in, and I think the top of the shelves now looks white, but the doors they still look like they're a totally different color. And also another weird thing was you can see those floor lamps I put in. They have by default a very yellow hue on the light, and I changed those to be natural light. But when I was in and got all the screenshots, that setting had changed. They look yellow again, but I didn't realize that until I had compiled everything. So if you, like me, don't like that yellow light, you will have to change it if you download it. This is on the gallery in 2 versions now. The one I uploaded after I recorded this video and took the screenshots, and another version that I uploaded 1 day later for the contest. And the only difference is that I've shrunk one of the trees behind the house so it doesn't clip into the neighbor house, but it's basically the same. Everything else is exactly the same. I tried to figure out if I could make use of the space under the stairs somehow, and I didn't really find anything good to do with it. But as I will move that chair to the other side of the bookcase when I do the screenshots, and then there will be 2 big windows on that wall, so I will adjust the table and the lamp so they're centered to the windows. I didn't put as much clutter in as I usually do in my builds because I figured that if you live in a tiny house, you can probably not have that much stuff. You have to adjust to the size of the house. So I have put in clutter, but not at all as much as I usually do. I kind of go crazy with the clutter. I try not to in this case. And also the original picture I had, the house was in 2 colors. It was white and dark brown, and I couldn't quite figure how to do that in a good way. So after trying things out and trying to see how it would look, I decided to make the whole house white actually, and use those there's a sort of wooden panel thing, decoration item that I will use on one part of the wall. And also I decided to make all the window frames dark brown, and I will turn the whole deck dark brown later. So the house itself is white all over. Those thingies I meant. I don't know what they're called. but I put them there, and I wanted to have them go all the way up to the roof, but I just couldn't make them align, and it looked silly. It was impossible to make them align. And I also tried to put them on the other side, but they interfered with the windows. I overlapped those two windows, and maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have taken 3 small windows. I don't know if they will glitch, but I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake there. I thought it looked good anyway. And then I'm dealing with the windows on the other side, and since the mirrors are there on the wall, it was very limited what I could do. At first I tried to put a big window over the sofa, but I ended up not doing so. Instead I went with these small ones. Then I tried to put several of them on top of each other, but they glitched. Only one of them could ever be a window. The others were just frames in a wall. So I had to skip that idea. And here I realized that I should make all the window frames brown. And I changed the color of the deck because it was the only way I could make the foundation look not grey. And I didn't want a grey foundation. And I also thought that since the kitchen area is so small, it's just a counter, which is more like a breakfast table, I wanted a proper sitting area outdoors on the deck, and then I wanted it to be sort of sheltered, so I wanted that kind of pergola thing. And I wanted a proper dining table, and I didn't really know which ones to pick. This is my favorite table. But I figured it wasn't dark brown enough to fit, so I looked at that one. I think it's from SIMS, but I really like that smaller one. It's my absolute favorite table, and I really wanted the wicker chairs. And those light brown ones, they fit perfectly with that table, but I wanted the dark brown ones so it fit. And I wasn't sure it would if I used my favorite table, but I think I settled for just picking the darkest brown color available on that table and do the dark chairs. Look, now the yellows are yellow again. I don't know when that happened because I set them to natural light in the whole house. That is weird. I've been in build mode the entire time here. Here comes the shelves, and look at the color. It looks terrible. You can't see that it's the same color as the counters. It looks grey. I really wish they did something about the lighting in this game. That and curtains and rugs and windows in general is the hardest thing to sort out in the game, I think. Also, when I went in to do the screenshots, I put a parasol on that sun deck, and I put a tray of drinks on the table. Realizing I need to decide on the table, and I figure that will do, and I took out the chairs on the ends because it got too big. This is a small house, and she just cannot have more than 3 guests here, or 2 if there's 2 living here. Here I'm trying to put these here as well, but I later figure out that I shouldn't have them because as it is right now, there are no windows at all in the bathroom in the corner there, and I decided I wanted those small narrow windows to go all around the corner, so some light gets into the bathroom as well. Also, I didn't like those paintings I chose at first because they had black frames, and black doesn't really fit in this house. Oops. Camera jumping. And since there are so many and big windows and glass doors in this house, it looks really homey, I think, during nighttime, because there's so much light coming out of it. Here I'm removing those and going with the windows instead, which will then also go into the bathroom. I overlapped two there because spacing. I hope that works and it doesn't glitch. There had to be a pool, of course. It's hard with the frame to frame the pools with something, the borders around the pools, because many of them are they're too much. But I think that one, even though it's marble, works okay-ish. And when I was putting the lights in the bottom of the pool, I realized, hey, I can put those on the ground. That might be a nice effect when it's dark. So I did that. Later I realized I needed to shrink the pool a little. And I had got this idea that I should put flower boxes all around the edge of the deck. But then I felt it doesn't really fit the style. It's a bit too, they look a bit too old-fashioned. This is a modern build. So I will throw them out in a bit. Not sure, maybe I did something else in between. Yes, and then I wanted to sort of make the sitting area, since that is the only real dining area, I figured it would be used quite a lot. And maybe you want some privacy because this lot is right next to the sidewalk. And you don't want people staring at you when they pass by when you're eating dinner. But then I realized that, hey, that goes for the entire deck. You don't want to swim like a few feet away from pedestrians either. So first I tried a half wall, and then I realized, nah, I'm gonna need a fence probably. So I think I will settle for a wooden fence here. So I remove all the flowers again. They didn't fit anyway. And I put up this fence, and then I had to move all the lights, of course, because they were underneath the fence. But I will put them back inside the fence because I really like the lights. And I moved the pool and shrunk it a little, I think. No, I just moved it. I had a faint memory that there was some kind of lights that were in an update for the base game that were meant for outdoors use and to light up the facade of a house. But I couldn't find them. I don't know where they are. But I really would have liked to use those instead of those pool discs, because they're a bit faint. I would like to have stronger lights. Need a path. Nothing fits. I'm settling for some kind of gravel, I think. I don't know, yeah. And a mailbox, of course. One thing I forgot to put in during recording was a bin. There is no bin on the inside, but I put a bin on the back side of the house, so there is a bin. And since red is the theme, I went with red and white flowers in this planting here. I also, you're going to see, I'm going to put some bushes at the along the edge in the front, and when I go back in I will put them also on the sides. And I put in a few flower trees, or trees with flowers, on the back side of the house also, but it's in the screenshots. And a few vases and whatnots here and there. I kind of like that the house is on one side and that it's not symmetrical. And also the planting is not symmetrical. I use those same bushes on the edges, the sides, outside the fence as well. Well, we're getting close to screenshots, I think. It is on the gallery. My origin ID is Vildra. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? For the wrong guys, they keep telling me it's alright. How could I be so blind? I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? Take you there.